something we call like mindfulness, we're aware of how these things affect us. And we also understand with some wisdom about the dangers in these things. So, like gambling, it can be fun, but there's obviously a danger there. And we use our awareness, our mindfulness, actually to know how far we can go and what the danger is. The same with the relationships and sex, the sensuality of lust. We know what the advantages are, we know what the dangers are of it. And also whatever else, whether it's eating, whether it's watching movies, whether it's watching the internet or whatever, we know the dangers which are there. And this is not stopping the things out there, it's actually stopping the way we relate to them when it gets too far. And obviously, like sexuality, we know there's dangers there. When we're talking about dangers, there was never ever in Buddhism, it's one of the reasons why I was inspired to be a Buddhism, there was never anything like evil or sin, or you're a bad boy because you had sex with a girl or something. That badness and evil, that ultimate bad thing, was never there. Instead it was always it's almost like a precursor of utilitarianism. Because the Buddha would say the basic ethics, and I repeat this many, many times, it's not just anything goes in Buddhism, but is what you are going to do, or say, or even think, is it going to be harmful to others or harmful to yourself? If it is, it's called not bad, not evil, unskillful. It's a great word, unskillful, because it doesn't have any moral judgments, as if it comes from some absolute, this is bad and this is good. Because if it says this is bad, this is good, and you're told it by someone else, you don't have to think it out for yourself, you believe it. And because of those blind beliefs, we get into terrible troubles in this world. We don't even think it out for ourselves. And so because we believe that blowing ourselves up is going to send us to heaven, we do such stupid things. Or because we believe that, say, sex is bad, we get these Puritans. But what we actually say is, what is skillful in these circumstances? By skillful, I mean, is it going to be conducive to the goal we're searching for? Is it really going to help? Is it going to be purposeful? What are the consequences going to be for ourselves and other people? That's what mindfulness has that behind it. Just that you think, what's the consequences? Where's this going to lead? And so that if we say with sensuality, there always has to be some restraint. Whether a lay person or a monk, we have restraint, saying we're not going to have any partners or any sex. That's our restraint, because we have a goal of developing very deep meditation, and maybe come up to that later on. But as a lay person in this world, your restraint has to be, I would hope, just with your partner. Because you should know that if you're already having a relationship and you have sex outside of that relationship, that's going to really hurt someone. And I don't think I may be wrong here, but I don't think you can actually say the other person will say, oh yeah, go ahead, go and do it, go and sleep with my best friend, I don't mind. I think that most people would mind. I could be wrong there, but please tell me, but most people would mind if you cheat in that relationship. So that's obviously an example of harming someone else. So if our aim is not to harm another person, certainly if that was an underage child, we know that's going to harm that person. I mean, there's psychologists, sociologists know that paedophilia, which is having sex with someone underage, is going to be harmful. In the same way that misusing your position of authority as a teacher, as a counsellor, with your students. There's just too much transference going on there. It's not a very clear relationship to complicate with any sexual or emotional or other entanglements. So that's usually a no-no as well. Why is it a no-no? Not because it's evil or because it says in some sort of book it's an abomination, simply because it's going to be harmful. And against that, on the opposite side, when Buddhism talks about homosexual relationships and sex, we ask, what's the harm in that? And of course, there is no harm in it, or at least no harm which I can see, and therefore, okay, off you go, enjoy your relationship together. So when we actually see that there's no evil no bad. But it's not that we can do anything you like. We are wise about this. Is it going to harm another person? Is it going to harm ourselves? What's going to be the result of this? It's the same if it's like unprotected sex. You know, if you're obviously wanting to have a baby, fine. But if you don't want to have a baby, have protection. So, the idea of like, in some religions, that condoms being bad or sort of any type of contraception being evil, that certainly is not around in Buddhism, because it's not what you're doing so much, but why you're doing it and what the effect is. You're not harming anybody, you're not harming yourself, it's for the greater good, fine. That is called skillful. Just like a carpenter is skillful because they're making a piece of wood and they make it well, with little effort, and they make a beautiful piece of furniture afterwards. That's skillful. Unskillful is if they don't know what they're doing, they take a piece of wood and make a big mess of it. So not good, not bad, but skillful and unskillful. So with the way of sensuality, we always have to have some restraint because we know it's going to be harmful. So first of all,